Okay, so today we're talking about congenital adrenal hyperplasia. It is an inherited disorder, the gene mutation that causes the hormones in the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys to not be produced correctly, which can lead to a whole host of symptoms. So what is CAH? Congenital adrenal hyperplasia, it's a genetic disorder involving the adrenal glands. You can see them over here on top of the kidneys, one on each. They're responsible for making and secreting hormones, including epinephrine, or as we know, adrenaline, norepinephrine, cortisol, aldosterone, several different types of hormones. A genetic mutation causes the lack of an enzyme needed for the adrenal glands to make certain hormones. So we'll get into that next. What causes CAH? It's caused by a gene mutation of the CYP21A2 gene. This gene encodes for the enzyme 21-hydroxylase. The mutation is thought to occur during mitosis when the sister chromatids cross over, that they cross over with a nearby pseudogene. And since they're not crossing over with each other, it causes deletions, mutations, additions, etc. So a mutation in this gene causes no production or reduced production of 21-hydroxylase. The lack of 21-hydroxylase causes the overproduction of androgens, which are male sex hormones, and the lack of aldosterone and cortisol, which are made in the adrenal glands. There's two types of CAH. The classic type means there's no production of 21-hydroxylase. It can be life-threatening very quickly. And non-classic CAH, which is a reduced production of 21-hydroxylase, and it causes more mild symptoms. What is CAH? What are the characteristics? Well, in classic CAH, it's also known as the salt wasting type because the body has trouble maintaining normal sodium levels. The body excretes too much sodium in the urine. Females can be born with ambiguous external genitalia, meaning, they might not be clearly female or male. Their clitoris might be enlarged, etc. And they're going to show more male characteristics due to those increased androgens, the increase in male sex hormones. Males may have an enlarged penis and show early signs of puberty, again, from the increased male sex hormones. In the classic type, both of them are going to have severe signs and symptoms very early on. Weight loss, diarrhea, vomiting, heart problems, coma, and changes in the body chemistry. And this all comes with the sodium levels. That's going to change your body chemistry. You're going to lose also additional electrolytes with the diarrhea and vomiting. And they're going to appear very early in life, the first few weeks after birth. Non-classic CAH is a milder form. The symptoms may not show up till later, closer to puberty. Some people don't show any symptoms at all. They're able to get by on the reduced level of 21-hydroxylase. They may develop early puberty, early armpit and pubic hair, maybe some severe acne, may have fertility problems due to those increased male sex hormones. Females may have changes in their menstrual cycle, deepening of their voice or facial hair. Again, male characteristics. About 1 in every 10 to 18,000 is still a very broad number, between 10 and 18,000 for classic CAH, and about 1 in every 200 for classic CAH, which is a pretty small number. Thankfully, that's the non-classic CAH is the milder form, and so it's not as severe as the classic CAH with the which is more rare. It is inherited in an autosomal recessive manner, which means that the patient must inherit a mutated gene from each parent. Both parents must either be a carrier for the disease or affected by the disease for their child to get CAH. Pedigrees of families may help us identify what type of inheritance pattern a disease have, and we'll go over that in the next slide. And we'll go over more on the autosomal recessive inheritance. So this is a pedigree I made up. There's nobody's specific family, but it shows the inheritance pattern of CAH, that autosomal recessive manner. So we have two sets of genes. We're a diploid organism, which means we get a set of genes from our mom and a set of genes from our dad. So when you look at a pedigree like this, you're going to see two A's, a big A and a little a, or a whole mixture, a, big A, etc. What this means is that the big A is going to be our normal gene. It's a normal gene for 21-hydroxylase. The little a is a mutated gene. So in order for somebody to have the disease, they have to have two little a's. So you can see John has it, Matthew has it, Aaron has it, and Monica has it. If you have a big A and a little a, which means you have a normal gene and you have a mutated gene, and that normal gene kind of makes up for the mutated gene. So you don't really notice that anything's wrong. It makes up, you don't really know you have it. Everything seems okay, but you can still pass on that little a to your progeny, to your sons and daughters. If you have two big A's, means you have both genes are normal type. So for example, Claude and Mary, Claude has two big A's. So he's normal, and Mary has a big A and a little a. So it's a normal type, and she has one mutated gene. She doesn't have the disease, but she's what we call a carrier because she has the one mutated gene. So they have a bunch of children, and they all are either carriers or they're fully normal, such as Elizabeth and Tom here. If you get down here to Monica, well, she got both little a's from both her parents, so she has the disease. The same thing with Erin. Both her parents were carriers, and she got both of the little a's, which means she has the disease. John and Iris, Matthew got it. Yeah, and they have a mixture of all of their progeny either are carriers or like Matthew has the disease. So back to CAH. Early detection is really necessary for classic CAH because it is the more severe type, and symptoms can appear in the first few weeks of life. It can be lethal if it is left untreated. So detection of the non-classic CAH is usually later in life, later childhood, maybe adulthood. Symptoms are not usually going to appear until about puberty, and you're noticing those male characteristics in females, the early puberty, etc. Some cases of non-classic CAH can have no symptoms. People can get along just fine. So testing. One test is the 17-hydroxyprogesterone. It's produced in the adrenal gland in the process of making cortisol. 17-OHP levels are elevated in patients with CAH. And what happens is, as the adrenal gland works harder to produce more cortisol because the body's saying, hey, we don't have any cortisol, where is it? More 17-OHP is going to be produced along with the increased level of androgens because the adrenal gland's working harder to try to produce that cortisol it can't make. This is simple. It's measured by a blood test to check the levels of it. Newborns are tested as part of the mandatory newborn screening right after, in the first few days after birth by the heel prick test. A lot of people know it as. just a simple blood test, and it can diagnose the classic CAH that we're worried about in those first few weeks of life. It can be tested for older children and adults. It can be tested to see how treatments are going, etc. Genetic testing is also available. It screens for mutations in the CYP21A2 gene, which is the gene that causes CAH. It can be done prenatally if CAH is suspected, such as the parents have another child with it, etc. Can be done anytime after birth. Older children, adulthood, toddlers, it can be done at any time. But it's generally not the only test done. It's generally used in addition to other diagnostic tests, just as a reassurance or just as part of that group. So it is rather expensive, though. It is about $970 for genetic testing through this lab called Prevention Genetics. If it's prenatal testing, it's another $500. It's $1,490. Sorry about that. For prenatal testing through Prevention Genetics. Here are my references. I've had a wonderful time talking to you today, and I hope you guys learned something, and we'll talk to you later.